Welcome to the summary of the book, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko. This book is based on years of research and reveals the surprising habits and lifestyles of America's real millionaires, most of whom don't look or act rich at all. Who are the real millionaires? The Millionaire Next Door flips the idea of rich upside down. Instead of flashy cars, big houses, and designer clothes, the book introduces millionaires who live quietly, spend wisely, and build wealth slowly. The authors studied thousands of millionaires across the U.S., and here's what they found. Most real millionaires don't look rich. They're your neighbors, your dentist, your mechanic, even your schoolteacher. 1. Millionaires are often under the radar. When people think of millionaires, they often picture a fancy suits, big houses, expensive vacations, a luxury everything. But the authors reveal that the average millionaire lives in a modest home, drives a used car, and shops at regular stores. In fact, many are first-generation rich. They didn't inherit money, they built it. They call these people PAWs, prodigious accumulators of wealth. 2. The wealth formula. Income is not equal to wealth. One of the most important lessons is this. It's not how much you earn, it's how much you keep. You can have a six-figure salary and still be broke if you spend it all. The authors found that many high-income earners, like doctors or lawyers, are UAWs, under-accumulators of wealth, because they spend too much to look rich. Meanwhile, many average earners build real wealth by a living below their means, avoiding lifestyle creep, investing consistently. This explains why many millionaires drive Hondas, not Lamborghinis. 3. Living below your means. The real secret. The biggest habit all real millionaires share? They spend less than they earn, year after year. That means a budgeting wisely, avoiding debt, a not trying to keep up with neighbors, a saving and investing early. They don't chase status, they chase financial independence. In one story, a millionaire couple had a net worth of over $2 million, but they lived in the same house for 30 years, clipped coupons, and rarely bought anything new. Why? Because they valued freedom more than showing off. 4. Discipline over flash. The book shows that discipline beats luck. Millionaires stay consistent with their money habits. They invest regularly, often in boring index funds or real estate. They avoid unnecessary purchases. They don't let emotions control spending. They plan for the long term. These aren't overnight success stories. They're decades in the making journeys built on steady, smart decisions. This first part of The Millionaire Next Door reveals a truth most people miss. Being rich isn't about what you buy, it's about how you live. Most millionaires don't act rich because they're focused on being rich, not just looking the part. Page 2. Family habits, money values, and how millionaires think. Beyond living below their means, real millionaires also think differently about money, parenting, education, and career choices. The book shows that wealth isn't just about numbers, it's about mindset and long-term behavior. 1. They teach their kids the value of money. Many millionaires are very careful about how they raise their children. Why? Because they've seen how easy it is to ruin a child's future with too much financial help. The authors call it economic outpatient care, when wealthy parents keep giving their adult kids money to help with car payments, a house down payments, a monthly bills, a vacations. What happens? The kids become dependent, expect money, and never learn to build wealth on their own. Instead, smart millionaires teach their kids how to budget, how to save and invest, the value of hard work, why it's better to live simply and build wealth slowly. They want their children to earn, not receive. 2. They choose the right careers, and business owners win big. Most millionaires didn't become wealthy by getting huge paychecks. Many are self-employed or small business owners, not CEOs of big companies. Why? Because owning a business gives you control over your income, builds equity, something that grows in value. It encourages responsibility and long-term thinking. That doesn't mean you must be an entrepreneur to be wealthy, but the book shows that people who focus on value creation and discipline often do very well, even in ordinary fields like plumbing, accounting, or cleaning services. 3. They avoid status trap. Millionaires don't waste time or money trying to impress others. They understand that every dollar spent trying to look rich is a dollar not invested in actually becoming rich. Examples of status traps: buying a home in a fancy neighborhood you can't really afford, driving a new car every few years just to fit in, spending heavily on designer clothes, watches, or luxury brands. Instead, real millionaires make purchases based on value, not vanity. They ask, do I really need this? Will this help or hurt my financial goals? Or am I buying this to impress people, or because it's truly useful? 4. They're quiet about their wealth. Another surprising fact: most millionaires are extremely private. They don't go around bragging about their net worth. In fact, they avoid attention altogether. Why? Because they see wealth as a tool for freedom and security, not something to show off. They live in middle-class neighborhoods, drive regular cars, and rarely talk about money in public. They believe that humility, discipline, and focus are more important than praise or status. 5. Net worth income. Millionaires don't judge financial success by salary. They focus on net worth, what you own minus what you owe. You could make $200,000 a year and still be broke if you spend it all. Meanwhile, someone making $60,000 can become a millionaire by saving regularly, investing wisely, controlling expenses, or staying consistent for 20+ years. That's why the book says, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. This section of The Millionaire Next Door drives home the idea that wealth is built slowly, quietly, and intentionally. Millionaires live with long-term values, not flashy habits, and that's what sets them apart. Page 3. Investing smart, avoiding debt, and staying financially free. Now that we've learned how millionaires think and live, this part of the book focuses on how they grow their money and avoid financial dangers that hold others back. What's surprising is how low-stress and boring their investing strategies often are, and how powerful that can be over time. 1. Millionaires invest conservatively and consistently. Forget risky stock picks and day trading. The millionaires in this book don't play the market. They invest in solid, long-term options and stick with them. They focus on index funds, mutual funds, real estate, long-term retirement accounts, like IRAs or 401k. Many of them don't even manage their investments themselves. They hire smart, fee-conscious financial advisors to handle their portfolios and help them stay the course. They're not trying to get rich quick, they're building real wealth over decades. 2. They avoid consumer debt like the plague. While many people rely on credit cards, car loans, or home equity lines just to keep up, millionaires do the opposite. They avoid debt unless it's truly productive, like a business loan or mortgage. Their rules include: pay off credit cards in full each month. Avoid financing cars. They buy used and pay cash. Stay far away from payday loans or buy now, pay later schemes. Pay down their mortgage early if possible. They understand that every dollar spent on interest is a dollar stolen from their future wealth. One key habit? They live on less than they earn, so they don't need to borrow. 3. They build emergency buffers. Most millionaires have cash savings, enough to handle several months of living expenses if something unexpected happens. This keeps them calm during emergencies, independent from credit cards, confident in their financial choices. This cushion helps them avoid panic decisions, like selling investments during a market crash or borrowing money at high interest. It's not fancy, but it works. 4. They watch their money carefully. Millionaires are very aware of their money, even if they aren't budgeting in a strict sense. They track their spending. A review financial statements. A know their net worth. Check on their investments regularly. This doesn't mean they obsess over every penny, but they stay engaged. They make financial decisions based on facts, not feelings. This is another way they stay in control, because they always know where they stand financially. 5. They resist sudden wealth traps. The authors warn about what happens when people suddenly come into a lot of money, like from an inheritance, big bonus, or business sale. Without preparation, people often overspend, invest poorly, get scammed, go broke quickly. Millionaires avoid this by having a long-term plan, keeping their lifestyle steady, or seeking professional advice, or saying no to unnecessary upgrades. They don't let sudden success ruin decades of smart financial behavior. Bonus, they think generationally. True millionaires think beyond themselves. They ask, how can I teach my kids to be responsible with money? How can I leave behind more than just cash, like values and wisdom? How can I use my wealth to make a quiet, lasting difference? They're not just rich, they're financially wise, and they use that wisdom to build legacy. This part of the Millionaire Next Door reminds us that wealth isn't complicated. It's about consistency, control, and calm. No big risk, no magic secret, just smart, steady step. Page 4. Building True Wealth and Living the Millionaire Mindset. The final chapters of The Millionaire Next Door bring all the lessons together and drive home a clear message. Becoming a millionaire isn't about luck, genius, or flashy income. It's about simple, consistent choices that reflect long-term thinking. It's about living like no one else now so you can live better later. 1. Real wealth equals financial independence. For the millionaires studied in this book, being rich isn't about having the newest car or the biggest house. It's about freedom. Freedom from worrying about bills, living paycheck to paycheck, being trapped in a job they hate, a debt that keeps them up at night. They work hard and save not just to buy things, but to buy time, peace, and control. That's what true wealth looks like. 2. You don't need to look rich to be rich. The book's title says it all. Most millionaires live right next door, and you'd never know. That's on purpose. They don't spend energy trying to impress people who don't matter. What they do instead? Spend less than they earn, or stay out of debt, or invest early and consistently, or avoid the trap of lifestyle creep. Focus on long-term goals. Their wealth is invisible, but it's real and it's growing. 3. How you can start today. You don't have to be wealthy to act like a millionaire. The authors outline small, powerful steps anyone can take. Track your net worth every month, or set a savings goal, like 20% of your income. Drive a reliable used car and invest the difference. Or avoid upgrading your lifestyle every time you get a raise. Teach your children how to earn and manage money, not just spend it. The most powerful part? Anyone can start today. You don't need permission. 4. Focus on habits, not excuses. The authors also confront common excuses. I don't make enough to save. Many millionaires made average incomes. It's too late to start. The best time was yesterday. The second best time is now. I'll start when things settle down. That day may never come. Start small today. Millionaires don't wait for perfect conditions. They start with what they have and build from there. 5. Wealth is a lifestyle, not a destination. Finally, the book reminds us that being wealthy is more about how you live than what you earn. You can make a high income and still be broke. You can earn modestly and still be rich. It's not about having money for show. It's about being free from debt, being in control of your time, helping others without stress, retiring on your terms, sleeping peacefully at night. That's the real millionaire mindset, and it's available to anyone who wants it. Final takeaway. The Millionaire Next Door teaches us that real wealth doesn't shout. It whispers. It lives in simple homes, It drives reliable cars. It shops with a purpose and invests with a plan. You don't have to change who you are to build wealth. You just have to change how you think about money. This book isn't about numbers. It's about values, discipline, and freedom.